Calling the Recreation Commission meeting to order at 5:32. So let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business is to accept the minutes from our January 28th meeting. Did everyone have a chance to look through them?
Yes.
Is there any questions, or does anyone want to make a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
No, I abstained. I wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have Michael Radner on the Zoom call, and Michael, I don't think you can see us, is that correct?
We can't.
Okay. We're having some issues with the camera, but as long as you can hear us talk, we can see you and we can see all of the screen.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
We know what to look like.
That's what I said.
Exactly. All right, so I have our agenda that we had done from the last meeting that was rescheduled, which the first part of the agenda is to review the pricing on the furniture that we chose.
Would you like me to share
Sure.
that?
Yeah.
If I can be allowed to share?
Yes. I think. Just 1 minute.
Sure. Also, Katerina Creamer from my office is on, who also worked on the plans and estimates and
Yes.
designs.
Hi, Katerina. How you doing?
Katerina?
I just made him.
I am the host now. Here we go. So I'd like to do, hopefully we can go through this fairly quickly, but I think I'm gonna actually switch to another slideshow because what we did was go out to several vendors of the play equipment to get competitive pricing.
Okay.
And that's summarized in this slideshow. And what each of the three vendors did was put together their own plan based on the plan that everybody reviewed. So it's basically the same play elements, but of course every manufacturer has their own twists on things, and they look a little bit different. I mean, a swing is a swing, but when you get to, or a slide, but when you get to things like climbers, they all have their little, design flares or whatever that they work on. So the trick here is to compare apples to apples. And we've done that. I think we've succeeded in that. But I'll run through this real quick because there's a little bit of complexity in here.
Okay.
So the three manufacturers are Game Time, Landscape Structures, and a company called Compan, which is a German company. And then within the Landscape Structures people, they sent us two different designs. And the original, like the apples to apples plan, is this $214,000 number. They knew that they were out of the park on that one, so they came back and gave us a different design for this 169 number.
Okay.
Okay, but it's not apples to apples. It's a little bit different, and I'll show you why. So if this just sort of goes to the question of what, if you are comfortable with the design as we've done and the play pieces that we've done, then the Game Time price is the low bid.
Okay.
If you want to look at considering another design to lower the price even more, and this is not much, I mean, it's 10,300 or whatever dollars. We can do that, but it would only be fair to then go back to the other two manufacturers and say, to offer them the same opportunity to lower their price.
Yeah.
So let me run through this real quick. And then the bottom set of numbers here this is all just through Martirano, which is the representative of Game Time and Ultrasight and some other manufacturers. And this is the furniture. So this is the furniture numbers, this 14,120.
Okay.
We can also go out to M.E. O'Brien. They represent a lot of furniture. It's all the same furniture. It's not exactly the same, but it'll, a bench is a bench. It'll look the same from what you chose. We'll just have some different prices. But I think in the end, it's like, this is a lot of, it's a lot to manage to like competitively bid all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to get a feel for you, like what you're comfortable doing, and then maybe when you've made a decision on which way you want to go, at least on the playground equipment, like I would want to get together with John Ruda as the purchasing agent of the town, say like, how do you want to sort of finalize this purchase?
And does
That
that
makes sense.
include the 10% from the ComSpy
Yeah.
program?
Yes,
And that's already in the figures that you're showing us right here?
this is correct. This is
Okay.
all through the Back 122 combines. Yes.
Okay.
So.
All right.
The game time, and we did this rendering and it's kind of lousy, but they gave us their digital files and we could sort of placed it on the plan. So this is the game time. There's that, let's call it 181 price, and this is exactly what you reviewed last time. Same plate pieces and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll forward this to you, and you guys can pore over this if you like. The landscape structures, number one, this is the apples to apples plan. This is their
Yeah.
much nicer looking drink. But it has the same elements. There's the sand table, there's the climber, there's the seesaw, there's the climber over there. So it's all the same sort of number of play elements.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the game time piece has a slide on it, and this one doesn't have a slide on it, so it's a little bit different.
Okay.
There's just another view of that. They sent us a whole bunch of views. And by the way, these guys are just itching to like come in and sell you on all this stuff, but I don't know if you want to, that's up to you whether you want to sort of take the time to do that. So there's the landscape structures. The landscape structures with the reduced price, that 169, is this one. And the difference in this one is that the climber, which was kind of a panel thing, like a climbing wall sort of thing, just becomes these metal bars here.
Mm-hmm.
You can see them in the background.
Yep.
And then, but their climber piece, the big climber piece, looks like this. And this one has a slide and it has some stepping things on it, and the net looks a little bit different. And that's, I think between these two pieces is where the savings comes in.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's a little bit less robust, but it has some interesting elements to it in that it's kind of, it promotes circular play, which is what you want. So that's what that one looks like. And it's their version of the little playhouse. And then the compan coming in at 200 and change looks like this. They have particular look to their play equipment. It's a little bit more colorful. It's like, as I mentioned, it's a European company, so it has kind of a little bit, to me, it feels more European. It's a little bit stronger graphically. You know, these cubes here, or whatever these dodecahedrons that you climb on is kind of interesting. A little more colorful graphically. Don't pay too much attention to the colors because we could choose the colors. This is just an example.
Okay.
And But you can see sort of the look of their stuff is a little bit different. So I'm throwing this at you and not looking for, how do I get out of this? Let me share again. Hang on one sec. If you want to decide on the playground selection tonight, and I wouldn't blame you if you did, just based on price, I'm completely comfortable with the game time.
Can we just
And
see that one
working
more
with-
time? Just
Sure.
show the game time. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the game time's the original plan, everything else is modified, so.
It's.
Well, except for the one that's
original
apples to
plan.
apples, that's 214. The other two options are modified and not what was originally decided, correct?
No.
Similar, but not
The
what we talked about.
landscape structures 214 is apples to apples. That
Correct.
compares to the 180 and the 200. The 170 is a modified, less expensive, slightly different plan.
Okay, because the 200 one looks different as well. It doesn't have this exact same structures. Whereas the first, like game time and the landscape structures option one, those two are identical in terms of what the structures look like. And the
In
second
terms of what they
two,
look like, they're
They're
very
different.
similar in their aesthetics, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, Compan is a different look. You know, the game time and the landscape structures, I mean, this is much more sort of traditional, I think, what people expect to see. Compan is a little more adventurous. I mean, I love it, but it's also more expensive. I'll also add that the Compan guy, who's been very aggressive in a good way, took his price and knocked 40,000 off to get to this. That was like 241.
Okay. Jen just stepped out, so I just wanna wait for her to get back, but do you wanna show us the furniture, I guess, while we wait?
Sure. So, this is just the same chart. So that's the furniture that you selected,
Yep,
and so that's,
that's
we
just
already
the-
saw that price,
alright,
so that's the
mhm,
price
just
of
the
that.
price, okay. I didn't know if there was
Yeah.
any like difference or anything, okay.
No,
Can we see that cheaper one again, please?
The 160.
the cheaper,
The 169 one, for landscape structures?
this one, this one.
I like that one.
So they have, this is the mound, they just didn't model the mound. That's the play hill
Uh-huh.
on the left side. They have spring toys, the spinny thing. Really the difference is in the climbing, the big climbing piece, and then this
Yeah,
climber here, which is cheaper.
okay.
I'd have to go through it like a little more with more of a fine tooth comb to make sure that they have the same amount of play events. I mean, you can sort of drive yourself crazy doing this stuff
Yeah,
Right.
because there's so much. They pack a lot of events into these things, and I kind of want to make sure that it's the same thing.
Right.
okay.
can you go back to the 180 one again, the game time one?
So they're all gonna have 9 swings?
There's
Six.
six.
6? Okay,
They all have 6.
6, all right. Are they gonna be, like the slingshot swings, or are they gonna be solid?
I think they are, yeah, the belt swings.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't even know that they make the other kind anymore.
Okay. Is
The
there
ones
one
that we
for
used to
like
pull off when we were kids.
Yeah, right. Is there one with the, like the safety thing for a baby?
Yeah, they all are gonna
Okay.
have a handicap accessible one and a baby swing. I think it's just not showing on this one.
Okay,
So there'll be 4 regular belt swings and then a toddler or baby swing and a handicap one.
okay.
And this is the only design that has, I don't know how you wanna look at it, but 2 slides instead of just the one on the bank.
That's what I was trying to figure out, does the 169 option have a second slide, or is it just that one slide?
It does. It has
Oh, I see.
the mound
Gotcha.
slide and then it has a slide in association with this
Okay.
this climbing piece.
Hon-
Yeah.
Honestly, aside from that one missing the rock wall, that one there's the best looking one, in my opinion.
That one?
Yeah, if it's just missing the rock climbing wall.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Could I,
But, you know, we can go, we can get a rock climbing, well, I don't know what the price is on this. You can see what the price difference is.
It's too long. We've been dragging this out too long, you guys.
I have a question.
Yeah, just for Jen.
I just have
No,
a
I mean,
I have a quick question. So, can you explain to me why this wouldn't be, all the playground equipment wouldn't be going out for bid?
Well, it is going for bid. This is the bid.
But normally
So it's
municipalities have
rather
a,
than-
normally we have a sealed bid.
Right, so the town has the opportunity and the ability to purchase these pieces directly through the vendor,
Yep,
from the manufacturer, rather than going through a general contractor. And it's through this state program, which gives you a 10% discount.
okay,
it-
so we
it
didn't have
allows-
to advertise or anything to go through this?
No.
I spoke with Olivia and she wanted me to double check because,
No, this is through a program with the state.
yep,
Where all of these vendors are pre-approved,
To
and
be
it's
used.
all on a list.
yep,
And if the purchase is over $50,000, you have to get 3 prices.
right,
And you choose from that.
okay. Thank you, I just wanted clarification, because I'm used to
Yeah.
if it's over 50,000, it has to go out for bid, and I just was confused. Thank you.
Yeah, this is different type of program that
Yep.
allows you to do this.
Yeah, this was a way for us to save more money.
Yeah,
Okay, so do you want to look at it one more time, or I definitely think we should make a decision tonight.
absolutely.
So let me put this out there. Not that I want to drag this out anymore, but if this is being purchased directly by the town, you have a little time to kind of fool around with this and look at it a little more closely.
Okay.
What I want to do is, it doesn't impact our bid process at all. I want to get the drawings completed and advertised and get it out to bid. And that's gonna take a couple of weeks, obviously. So you can look a little bit more closely at this, and if you wanna talk directly with the vendors and have them give you a presentation, or just think about it a little bit more, you shouldn't feel pressured to make a decision tonight. On the other hand, I think these are all like really, really close and competitive, and it's all this, they're really fine differences between the two. And I don't know that I would go crazy over it. They're all pretty close in price.
What if we took the $169,000 playground and added the rock wall to that? How much would that be?
I can have I can have them come back with a price for that.
Okay.
And
It's
is
gonna
that
go up,
a,
obviously.
is that a lower cost alternative because it's not the same quality? Like, why would that? I just don't wanna like choose that because if it's
Right.
not,
Well-
comparable to the other ones.
I'd have to have a discussion with them
Okay.
to understand the difference in the pricing.
And if you do go with the lower one, then you have to give the other two
Yeah, then we'd have to go
opportunities, which
back.
is just gonna extend this more and more.
Yeah, so it's just really, it's drawing out the process, or, you know, you decide if there's a benefit to that.
And you said that we could essentially pick game time tonight and we could still change some of the features if we needed to, or?
Sure.
I'm just
Yeah, I
asking.
have to look, I mean, I would want to talk with John Ruda about this, because, you know, right now we've got 3 prices without that, you know, except for that third one in the list. We have 3 prices that are apples to apples. It's a, you know, they've all bid on the same thing.
Mhm.
So I don't know what it would do if we go back and then start changing the game time design. I don't know if we have to go back out or not. Get pricing again. I don't mind putting these guys through their paces. It's a big order.
Right.
I'm just thinking out loud, if we pick the 3 that we have, right? Well, these 3 plans that we have, we pick. Did we wanna redo this and have the people in town come to pick, or we're gonna do this for them? I know this is what we're here for.
We're gonna-
Nobody's shown up, but,
Right, because all they cared about was that the water
water.
feature was gone.
yeah, all right, okay, I was just,
That's all.
okay.
And when we had the public hearing,
It was,
There was
yeah,
one
to get rid
person
of the
who was
water.
here.
yep, and to get ideas, no one. So it's time for us
Yeah, we
to
need
choose
to
and move
forward,
on.
I think.
Well, that's just it, because we need to get moving on this if we're gonna
Right, right,
meet the terms of the grant.
correct,
Yeah, because if you got 2,000 different opinions, then
yeah.
it's gonna be really hard. If we pick game time tonight, is that still gonna be, are you still gonna be able to get a different bid on that, or is that 180, that's what it is?
That'd be what it is.
Oh, okay.
Unless we start changing things again.
If we want to start changing play pieces, I think I would have to go back to all 3 and get updated pricing.
I
Okay.
don't wanna do that anymore, you guys, I think we've dragged it out.
And everybody's being very responsive now, so it's not gonna take weeks. It'll take a couple of days.
No, then we have to have another meeting, right? Like, we gotta
But
get
then
moving.
yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with game time, I don't know if we wanna take a vote or talk it through more, but if you, I just don't wanna pick the 169, not knowing the reason why it's the lower cost, it's not apples to apples to the other ones. Unless you really like it, then we can obviously look through it a little bit more.
Yeah, if it's poor quality, right?
I don't necessarily think it's poor
I
quality, because
don't think it's-
if it was poor quality, then they wouldn't be on the state's approved list.
Yeah, it's not a quality issue.
It's just different.
It's like the number of play events in each thing, it's the design of this climby thing. You know, I think this play piece honestly has a lot less metal.
Well,
So-
that's what I was looking at when you were going back and forth through the two. It looks like that this one has less actual steel being used,
Yeah,
which
Yeah.
would bring down the cost significantly.
I believe so.
Yeah, because that looks like a net in the middle. Kind of.
Okay.
At the risk of this, at the risk of making this even more sort of confusing, they did send. Is this it, Kat, or is it? Who sent us the presentation?
I thought Game Time sent.
Oh, was it game time? Oh, it was game, no, it was, I'm sorry, one of these, sent us some,
Oh, was it Landscape Structures? They sent a presentation of the pieces.
there was a PowerPoint here somewhere.
Yeah, I know it was in.
No, I think it was company.
It was in the email.
No. We were just looking at it today.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
here it is.
That's the. Okay.
This is the one.
Yeah. Landscape Structures.
Right, so they sent this whole thing and it's 29 slides. I'm not gonna go through all this stuff, but look what a great company we are, et cetera, et cetera.
But they present the individual pieces later, like each of the elements they show.
Right. Chimes, oh.
So if everybody likes the 169, we're still gonna have to have another meeting because that means you're gonna have to go back out to bid to the other company.
Correct.
So,
Can I see the three of them again up there, please?
can you just put the three different
Yeah.
designs back up, or actually, I guess it would
So
be four.
there's the
Oh, yeah.
climber.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
see.
kinda
See?
neat.
That's the
Yeah.
climber for the 169.
It's a nice climber.
And then, these elements, yeah, this.
Oh, and that's
Okay, here's the chart.
Can you show us the designs too?
Let me know when you want me to advance.
Can advance. Okay.
We can just make our own rock wall, Chris. Just stack some rocks up.
In the woods.
Some section in the woods.
All right, you can move to the next one.
So we're not using it. Wow, look at that one, huh? Mhm.
Okay,
But that one's,
that's the most
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough because the game time ones graphics are not that great to be able to see what they really look like. They're all like grayed and blacked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault.
Okay.
And that one's really nice too.
This
That's the
this one is my
160.
favorite if they can do a real rock wall.
yeah.
Because this one has the most different things. Like it doesn't look like it because it's the cheaper one,
Mhm.
but it's got like the little wobbly pads that the kids can all walk across from
Yeah.
one climber to the next, and that's something that none of the other
Yeah.
ones have.
Right.
And those are
Mhm.
always a hit at playgrounds.
I do like
Yeah.
that one.
Mhm.
So what would the rock wall replace though?
That weird metal climber
I
in the
would
middle.
just go back to landscape structures and say, include this, or maybe there's one that's smaller that's not as expensive.
But wouldn't we have to go back to bid with the other two companies?
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I think you have, I think it's worth it. If this is what you want, I would suggest, let's make the one last change.
Well-
You know, let's go with this.
And that's just it, if we all like the 169, even if we don't make any changes to it, because that's the option, we still have to go back to the other two to get a lower cost option from them, don't we? Where that's not a apples to apples, that's the extra. So
I
if,
think I would have to go back to be, I don't know if it, about the legality of it, but to be fair to the other two bidders, I would wanna go back to them. But, you know, it puts it out another week. I mean, you could, I guess I'm just wondering if you could vote on this tonight and with the proviso that we make that design change and then just go with the lowest bid.
Okay.
I would be worried that we wouldn't like the other bids. If we
Mike, just to clarify, are you saying that it would be good to just confirm the play elements tonight, but then we would still go through the round of pricing, that we don't pick a scheme and be done? Is that what you are saying?
Yeah.
well, that's just it, if he's saying we have time to pick the specific elements, don't we just need to vote to approve the project at this point? So that they can start the bid process
Yes.
for everything else?
I think you should have the rest of the discussion and we'll talk about especially the surfacing and the other elements that are on this agenda.
Alright, we can come back to this at the end, I guess.
Okay. Let's talk about the surfacing.
Yeah, I haven't shared that detail about the layers, so I don't know if you wanna go through that.
So, I was pushing pretty hard last time, but to do the all poured in place rubber, and, Kat came up with some, Kat, did you take these pictures? Oh no, these were wrong. Yeah, you did. Where was this, in Cambridge?
It's in Belmont.
In Belmont. So this is a playground that has the wood fiber surface, and the way that they resolve the handicap accessibility issue is that you can see a little bit here. Basically, they took the pavement and it dives. It's almost like having a beach entry to a pool. There's a ramp of pavement under here. That if all this material gets kicked around, you still have the accessible entrance here. And I think it's a really good solution, and what they've done in, you know, sort of the landing areas of like the slide or the swing is that they'll do rubber mats there. So I think it's a nice way to achieve the savings, which is significant. So if you wanted to do half poured in place and half fiber, I think this would be the way to do it. And what I would do in the bid documents is get pricing on both so we can evaluate, you know, once the bids come in, like my estimate is just my estimate. It's probably not too far off, but I could be low, I could be high. And if we get alternate pricing on these services, we'll be locked in when the bids come in. So I can structure the bid documents in such a way that you can have a choice.
Okay. And that would just go out to bid the normal way?
Correct.
So we don't have to make a decision on this tonight necessarily?
Well, I guess I would ask you to approve a design that provides alternate safety surfacing.
So would that method, would that alternate alternative method fulfill the, ADA requirements?
Yeah. Yeah, what I would do, what we were talking about doing in this was, if for instance, the whole right side of this became wood fiber, I would take this pathway and do that, ramped edging down into the play area. Just do it all along this edge, so it's like a beach entry.
But then what happens if someone's in a wheelchair and they go over into the mulched area? Those wheelchairs don't move very well in mulch.
Yeah, they're compacted in a way so that it's ADA accessible. It's the material is not just wood chips that you would buy at like a landscape yard. It's a specially milled wood fiber that when it goes down, it knits together and makes a solid surface. So this is considered ADA accessible. You can see the wheelchair there.
And what's the maintenance on that again? I apologize.
It's yearly.
Well,
billing.
it depends on the use,
Yep.
but typically you'll go in every year and refresh it, buy a little bit extra and rake it out.
Is that something that has to be bought somewhere special?
Yeah, the material is called Fibar, Fibar, so it's like a brand. It's a specifically, but you can also buy that through Combis. It's on the list. It's on the state list.
And if we stick with the rubber surface, I know you had reached out to the company and they said that, after 10+ years, we would only have to replace the top layer and that it would only be half the cost of what we originally put in. Is that correct?
That's a good summary. Yep.
Okay. And when I say 10+ years, the company did say that they thought it would be longer than that. Is that right?
They're officially warranted for 7 years. He's claiming, the manufacturer is claiming that they typically last at least 10 years, except for in like the most harsh urban environments, which I don't think we have here. And his experience is that he's never had to replace one of these surfaces. Now, I don't know if he's been in the business for 15 years or 30 years, but so I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But, he's claiming, and another vendor that I spoke to also claimed it's about a 10-year life cycle.
And so the good news is to redo that surface, we wouldn't have to redo the whole thing, it would just be the top layer.
Yeah, it's a 2-layer thing where the bottom layer is a thicker layer and it's a loosely compacted, shredded rubber. And then the top layer is this stuff that's traveled on, and it's a much thinner layer, so that just gets peeled up, and then they bring in the new rubberized, traveled surface.
And if we went with the Fibar, would that impact the musical pathway at all, or would that just be like painted onto it? I mean, painted onto that walkway you have there?
You're talking about this?
Yeah,
Two separate issues.
not related to the floor.
No, it doesn't impact this. This is a whole other
Alright,
discussion.
sounds good. I guess we can go back to the original thing.
And what was the cost of the rubberized surface? I know you had it up during our last meeting.
Let me find that. I didn't bring it up for this. $167.
And then,
So to replace it would be about 84 grand, or whatever costs are 10 years from now.
Right.
Right.
And that was,
Yeah.
that
In
160.
today dollars.
Yeah.
That 167 is for the whole entire playground.
Yes.
Originally, didn't we have a quote when it was originally divided between the two different flooring?
Yeah, the 5-bar service is, it's like $1.50 a square foot. So it's $2,000. I mean, it's a significant savings, obviously. If you're comfortable with where we are on the total budget, you know, you could go with all poured in place. But if you feel better about having a little more headroom in this, I would suggest going back to the original thought was to do half and half. But I would still get a price for all rubberized. I mean, we'll get it as part of the bid, and then you can
Yeah.
make the decision.
I guess it would still be costly to replace the part of the half that's rubberized anyway in 10 years, plus then we're gonna be doing the yearly maintenance on the 5-bar as well, so I feel like the costs are going to happen at some point, maybe not now, but down the line
Right.
regardless.
And $1.50, that makes it $1.50 a square, as opposed to 24 something. That's a big.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I guess what you're saying is we just need to make a decision to review both of the surfaces, and they'll give us 2 different bids, one for,
Yeah, I think the only decision you would have to make right now is to instruct us to put the bid together in such a way that you'll have both prices, and then you can make a choice at the time.
okay,
I think that's the.
that sounds good.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to instruct Michael Radner and Associates in the bid to get prices for poured in place and the
5-bar.
fiber. Thank you.
I'll second.
Half and half on the 5-bar?
No, all.
Just
No,
get
one or the other.
both bids.
Yep.
Okay.
Is all in favor?
Aye.
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 That was unanimous. Okay.
Great. So this, we were starting to explore this, and it's sort of hard to get information from contractors on how to treat the concrete. So if this is something that you're still interested in doing, we're just gonna spec it. And we'll figure out a way to do it, that is, well, like, I don't know that I would do the paint thing. I wanna get a price to do this as treating the concrete to have it engraved.
And where would the concrete be again? Can you just show us where that is in design?
So that's this path that runs down the middle.
And would that be the path that we were just looking at in that picture that showed the?
Yeah, and we haven't designed exactly how we want the notes to lay out on this.
What if we decided to go with the full rubberized surface though? Would that change anything?
No. No, this is purely how we're gonna treat the concrete here.
So that's gonna be concrete no matter what?
This concrete running down the middle, and then on either side,
Okay.
these are the safety surfaces.
Alright,
The musical instrument type things, that doesn't need a safety surface. It's just
yeah,
on pavement.
okay. Alright, so do we have to make a motion to move forward with this or not move forward with this, right? And we don't have a quote or anything about how much extra that would cost?
No, it's just gonna have to go in the bid documents. I mean, I'll continue to research it, but I'm more comfortable in doing it as like what's the word I'm striving for, is the finish where they
Sandblasted?
sandblasted finish, thank you. They put like a stencil, a cutout stencil on the concrete as it's curing, and then go with a sandblast machine and sandblast out the patterns. I think it'll look awesome.
All right, I make a motion to accept the musical path.
Is that what we're doing? I lost it. I'm so lost. It's too much. The other option was stencils, right?
Yeah, you can do it with stencils and paint. You can also do, we could try and find like a stamped concrete, but that may be more like a custom thing. It's all custom. Well,
As cool as it will look, do we really need?
we'll
the
figure
musical
out how
ton
to
of
do it.
concrete?
It's a construction detail.
So I'll second the motion for discussion, so that we can take a vote and discuss it and take a vote. I'm just concerned if we're trying to save money on other things and then spending unknown amounts, that's what,
Right.
not that I think it's gonna be, but that concerns me, I'm just a little, that's my personal.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, if it's an exorbitant amount of money, then we don't do that. It's gonna take away from the playground.
And once we put it in the bid, we can't take it out?
You can, you can also leave it out of the bid and then do a change order. We can get a price on it later on.
I think that would be the better idea. Let's leave it off for now and see where we're coming at with the full bids.
Yeah.
And then if we're way lower than we're expecting, then say, hey, let's
Then you
look
can
about
add.
adding
You
to
can-
this,
Yeah.
but
Then you can start to play.
yeah, for now, I wouldn't.
So you have a motion and a second, so we do have to take a vote on it.
Okay, I make a,
No, he made the
Oh,
motion
sorry.
and I second it, so you just have to, we have to take a vote.
alright, who, agrees to move this to a later discussion after the bids come in?
Well, no, the motion he made was to add it to the bid, so that's the motion that we're voting on now.
Correct.
Oh.
So it would be all those in favor of
Three
adding it to
voting
the
no.
bid.
All in favor of adding to the bid? Alright, that's
With-
And then you ask any
With the
opposed.
etching?
Opposed?
Okay.
opposed.
Just the playground, just the musical,
Yeah,
Yeah, this is just the musical notes.
okay.
Who's opposed to that?
Aye.
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 I think I liked it, but I'll abstain.
Well, I really like it, but before we start getting quotes on sandblasting into concrete.
It's fine.
We
I
got,
abstain.
Get the price, yeah.
yeah, get the price for all the really important stuff.
And like, you can always do change orders at the end when you find out what you have, how things are going. If you have
Right.
money left, that's when you can add caveats.
Yeah, I'd like to do it that way.
Okay.
Sure. Once you have a contractor on board, we can work with them.
So we have 4 opposed, 1 abstained,
So the motion failed.
so the motion failed.
Yep, so that will not go on the bid
Okay.
for now.
Okay, that's fine. I think this is the last item, so we wanted to revisit this. You had expressed that you didn't like the idea of the brick piers, and this is an alternate approach at the entry. We just want to have some way to offset on either side of this gateway what is going to be chain link fence from this more decorative picket fence. So there needs to be some kind of post there.
Yeah.
And a simple granite, 6 or 8 inch square post. Low cost alternative, kind of does the trick. Fairly simple solution as opposed to the brick, construction.
I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a simple person.
I make a motion to go with the granite posts.
A second.
Gateway.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous for the granite posts.
Great.
It matches the sign out front, the Dudley Town Hall
That's true.
sign. Truth. I don't lie.
I don't know if you also talked to John about the lighting, but Olivia gave me an update on that
Yeah.
today.
Okay.
She said that they were working with, trying to get an electrician to get a quote and, she'd get back to us.
Yeah, the discussion was basically that, the light pole's gonna get there. They're putting in, new EV charging stations, I guess, down by Main Street.
Yes.
So as long as they're having an electric contractor do that work, they were gonna extend the power up to this, area. So what we're
Okay.
gonna do is include the light pole and the installation in the bid, and then just have it hooked up, in another contract. So it'll all work out.
Okay.
Awesome.
Do you wanna go back to the pricing on the furniture quickly? As much as we don't wanna look at it.
Well, I think the furniture we're okay with, it's the playground equipment itself, right?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, yeah, never mind, the playground equipment, my bad. So I guess the two options we have is to accept the game time price tonight, or go back to landscape Compton and game time and get a quote for the cheaper option
With a rock wall.
with the rock wall included. Is that correct?
I could do that.
What? You wanna say that again?
I'm gonna make a motion.
I
Please
said,
do
I
it.
said,
Let's
we-
do it.
I'm gonna make a motion that we have Radner and Associates go back to all three companies asking for the lower version of the game time, the landscape structures, but adding a rock wall to it and getting quotes for that. Does that make sense to you?
yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Second.
I don't know if you were asking me, sorry.
Yes, I was, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, that was unanimous to do that.
See, I'd rather spend money on a rock wall than
Exactly.
music notes.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes, definitely.
I like
Y'all
the
weren't
music.
about that the last time, you weren't even here, it looked lovely.
I like the music
The
notes. I
only,
love
the
it.
only thing
I
that-
love it.
and I just had a question about that actually, cause we did approve to put the musical notes on the benches, and I just don't know if that would be necessary or confusing at this point.
I don't think so, cause even, like, that would be, if we can't get the music notes on the concrete, then at least we
And
still
on
have
the
them on the
bench?
benches.
Yes, at least you have them
Yeah.
there.
Still cool.
Yeah, look good.
And that relates to the musical instruments that you're gonna have
Yeah,
there.
exactly,
Right.
alright,
Yeah.
that's fine. So do we have everything in place to do the final design with, the only thing that's kind of outstanding is reviewing the furniture again?
The equipment.
The equipment, it's basically just the
Yeah.
price,
Saying that.
to
I
see
keep
what the
looking at the
prices
word.
come in at.
Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise, I think it's
No.
safe that we're approving the design
Correct,
tonight, cause we can approve the
Yeah,
design tonight
this-
and the specific equipment next week.
correct.
Yeah, this allows us also to go out and complete the competitive bid on the rest of the furniture.
Okay,
So we'll get two other prices on that.
oh, okay,
Are we gonna get one light or two?
I think it's just one.
Just one?
Yeah,
Okay.
One light.
that's what John asked. Perfect.
Alright,
I feel like we have clear direction, clear as mud. No, we have clear direction.
that's
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike
We appreciate your help.
Keep us updated.
and
Will do.
Katrina, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You
too. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Good night. I'm waving at them,
I know.
they can see me.
I mean, that's just it, at least now they can move forward with getting the bid documents
Correct.
ready.
Correct.
Because we've approved the design, we can do the little details
Yeah,
while they can keep moving forward.
that's good.
Okay. We have one more agenda item, which Jen will be going over about
Take one down, pass it
open
around.
meeting laws and roles and responsibilities.
So I was asked to kind of go over some information with you because, oops, sorry, three of you have never served on a municipal board before. And a municipal board is a little different than other boards. There's a lot more scrutiny that goes on and a lot more things that you can and can't do. So they just asked if I could go over a few things and then go over like roles and responsibilities. So the town clerk gave me this lovely overview, which she was nice enough to print out. And it kind of, says everything that you need to go over. Basically, some of the key points are that in open meeting, you have to, anytime that more than 2 members of the rec commission are together, constitutes an open meeting. So if there's 3 of you communicating via email, text, or in person, if you're talking about anything to do with the Recreation Commission that you could be voting on, that constitutes an open meeting and you're violating the open meeting law. So you have to post which we do, we post all meetings, they get posted in the town clerk, and Amanda posts them on the websites for everybody to see. So that's your posting of your open meeting. When an email comes out, you should not reply all. You should just reply back to the one person sending it. If you reply all, it can constitute a violation of an open meeting law. So you just never reply all, it's just a good habit. And like, we don't have an admin, a lot of boards have an admin, and that's who would be sending out the information, and the people would be replying back to that. So this way, when Alicia sends out something, if you have something, just comment to her. Just comment right back to her. You don't have to reply all. When we're talking about the emails, the Board of Selectmen is very strict on absolutely no personal emails being used. If you do not use the town email, then you cannot serve on the board. It's basically, I'll get there. Security, I can't.
Breach, a breach, not a breach, yeah, we know what you mean.
Violation.
It's for our infrastructure security, that's, we're being required to, you must use a town email for all communications. They are huge on that right now, and they're not, they won't take anything less than you have to use the email. Couple other things are, everything that we say in the meeting is public information. So you also want to be careful during a public meeting not to attack somebody's character or discuss somebody who's not here. That's a violation. Certain things have to be done in executive sessions. So if I'm just gonna use an example. If I have a conflict with Nicole, I'm not gonna bring it out. We're gonna have to find out if we can, resolve the situation. I'm not gonna attack her, because you can't attack someone's character in an open meeting.
Yep.
That's why this is really, it's kinda interesting, because it's things that you wouldn't even think about, So, I'm trying to think of other things, like, if we're doing the yard sale, the townwide yard sale, and you send out an email, who could bring water? That's different. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Cause it's not something we're voting on.
Okay.
It's not something that's
that's something for the event, which most of the time we're gonna talk about here anyways,
Yeah.
so, you know, but, so Alicia's the chairman. Every June, you reorganize. It gives someone else if they, an opportunity, if they wanna be chairman or a different position. Every June, we reorganize. The responsibility of the chairman in this situation is to post the agenda to the appropriate places, make the agenda, and run the meeting. And you're the contact person for town administrator, Michael Radner, anybody.
Yep.
And, this is your meeting. You control the meeting. If there's public here, you control the public. If there's, which we don't, so we don't have a public comments on our agenda, so you do not have to allow the public to speak.
Okay.
If you chose to, but they can't bring up something that we would have to vote upon, because it's not on the agenda. Let me
Okay.
know if I'm missing anything here.
Mhm.
You've been around a little while. Or my.
You're doing great.
Yeah. So, you control the meetings, you do all the votes. If someone's in the public, or even one of us is getting, you have that right to reel them in politely. You know what I mean? Your, as vice chair, your roles and responsibilities in this setting are, if Alicia can't be here for some reason, she can't post anything, everything falls on you. You're the one who would have to do everything. The clerk is kinda self-explanatory. They do the minutes, they make sure everything, do you send the minutes to the town clerk when they're approved? You do?
Been doing that.
Okay.
I'll send them to her.
That's
I
fine.
can send them to Lori though.
No, it's fine, if it's
Yeah.
working that way, I just wanted to make sure that they were
Yeah.
getting done. So the the town clerk is the center of the town and the center of all records. Any records request, Freedom of Information Act that comes to this town goes to the town administrator and the town clerk. The town clerk is the one who would organize and send out. The reason why, another reason why they want you to use the town email is security for computers. But another reason is you can get a records request, and I don't know that on the record, the rec commission how often, but somebody will request records at some point, and they can request all our emails. If you've used your personal email, they have to have access to your entire personal email. So that's why the town also wants you using only the town email,
Okay.
because it takes it away from your personal things. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
But everything goes through the town clerk. Let me just quickly, I know you're looking through, is there any questions, or anything that you see?
Not yet.
I'm just trying to think if there's,
If the public was here, excuse me,
yeah,
if the public was here and they wanted to speak, and so we would have to call on them?
correct, so, you can say, does anyone have any comments? Like, if we were talking about the playground, and you could say, does the public have any comments? And if somebody says yes, what you're gonna say is, you can come up either to the podium or the table, and please identify your name and your address.
Okay.
Okay.
Because for the records, we need to know who this person is, and it's helpful to know where they live in case you didn't get a spelling of a name,
Yeah.
and then you can allow them to speak. You also don't have to allow them to speak for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
You can reel them in.
Okay.
If for some reason you had somebody coming up, the boards I've been on, I've had this in the past, where somebody comes up and asks a question and you answer it, the next person comes up and asks the same question in a different manner and answer it, and you can then say, okay, this question has been asked and answered, do we have a different question? Because you will get people who, they don't like the answer they're getting,
Yeah.
so they're gonna ask again, and again, and again, you know, let's see. Yeah, anything on social media, if you comment about the playground, is out there. A quorum, so for a 5-member board, it's 3. I'm just looking quick to see if I missed email, social media. So the town does have a social media, guide where it's advised, like, as an employee, I can't comment on social media.
Yeah.
But it's advised for board members not to comment there on social media, because you're gonna put something out there and somebody else is gonna turn it a different way, and it becomes nothing that, like what you said, but they're gonna come back and say, well, Nicole said this, even though Nicole really said that. So your best bet is advise them to contact your email if you want, or, you know what? Tell them to call the town hall or go online, and if they have a question, there's a complaint form they can fill out. You know, we don't communicate through Facebook.
Yeah.
And I know I've gotten Debbie LaPlaca, who manages our Facebook, she will email me and be like, oh, I have somebody asking this, and I say, well, could you please tell them to email me directly then? I'm not gonna answer through a third party.
Yeah.
Because again, things are gonna and your best bet is to answer via email, because you have the trace of it, you know.
That's a good point.
The agenda has to be posted 48 business days prior to the meeting.
48 hours.
48 business
48
days.
days.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
48 business hours, sorry. Woo.
No Saturdays or Sundays or holidays.
Nope.
48 business hours?
Yeah,
It's like 2 business days.
so like if you wanna have a meeting on Monday, you have to post it by Thursday at the latest.
Yep. And it has to be Thursday by 4 o'clock. And it's posted with the town clerk. So, and so when I post for my water sewer, my meeting's on Wednesday, I try to post by Friday, because I like to have that buffer,
Right.
you know, in case something happened on Monday and I couldn't get to post it or something.
Okay.
If somebody brings up something that's not on the agenda, we can't discuss it unless it's an emergency.
Okay.
Like, we have to, like, we just found out about it within the 48 hours, and we have no choice. It's something that has to be discussed and decided on tonight. Executive session, remote, hybrid, complaint, violations, enforcements, that's public records, best practices. These, you don't have to really know about that. Appeals, producing records. So it just kind of gives you like what you can and can't do.
Okay.
And again, being a municipality, it is a little bit different, and you are scrutinized. There are people that will just watch a meeting to see what they can find out, and did we do something that wasn't proper, or, you know. So you just wanna be as transparent as possible during our meetings. And it's not like we have a huge crowd that you need to keep under control. You know, sometimes, and when you do have, sometimes they can get a little heated.
Okay.
People get upset. But, so, any questions about it? Yeah.
So, what would the purpose of executive session be, like, for our group in particular?
So our group would be,
Because I feel like executive session is a way to get around open meeting law.
no.
That's where I'm not understanding.
Okay, so there's only 10 reasons, I think it's 10, that you can go into executive session. One that I can think of off the top of my head is collective bargaining. We wouldn't be
Right.
doing that, but collective bargaining, issues with union employees, non-union, attack on someone's character. So, you know, I'll use I'm in the water sewer department, somebody has issues with my character, and so my board members need to discuss it with me, and that would be done in executive session. Discipline, if you were disciplining an employee, that would be done in executive session. There's a few others that I haven't used very often. Am I missing any?
I don't believe
that
so.
that you were aware of? So there's very specific reasons. And it's not, the minutes do eventually get released.
Right.
But if it's going to affect the outcome of something, like when union negotiations, they'll meet to discuss it, but you don't wanna do it in open session, because then your union knows what you're thinking of going to them
Right.
with.
Okay.
So, things like that, again, discipline of someone, a disciplinary action.
That makes sense, that there's like specific reasons
Yeah.
how you can go into it that.
Yeah, there's only-
That clarifies. It says it's 10. I
It's
just
10.
found the
See,
I just
okay.
found the slide.
And I know KP Law, I have the printout in my office of the 10 reasons, and I've only used,
Here they only show 4 of the 10.
see? And I've only ever used 3 of them, so, and that's, I've only really seen, I think, about 3 of them posted, so.
Okay.
Just because I know you guys haven't been, gone through this, and it is different. It is very different, and, I was on a board for 15 years, Rose's been on for 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, help you, just so that we have a good board. Smooth.
So if I had questions, would it be appropriate for me to email you directly?
Yes, because it's just 2 of us. Yep. Yes.
Oh, so should she be making an announcement at every meeting saying it's being recorded?
Yes.
She does.
I didn't do it today.
Yes, you did.
I just read that.
Yep.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, usually
You did. So it's being recorded.
call to order, this
Being
meeting is,
recorded.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's what you have the clerk for, girl.
Yeah,
Welcome.
just because it's notifying everyone who's here that
Right.
you're being recorded.
Okay. All right,
It's just a little different than being on other boards,
yes.
so we just, thought it'd be, where you're new. And they, years ago, they used to offer different little things, but there's no time, money, people to do anything, so I said, well, let me, you know, give you a little summary
Yeah,
and.
Appreciate it.
I'll look through this more.
Yeah, and, you know, like I said, you can email me and I will gladly answer any questions or anything.
Okay.
Yep. You can email one-on-one, but if you get 3 people in an email, you're violating an open meeting law.
Even if it's someone from the town?
No, that's
Okay.
just commissioners.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Like
only for votes though, right?
Well, the thing is you, like, even discussing the playground, you really can't do that in emails because it's something we're gonna vote on.
Okay.
You really shouldn't, your best bet for safety is not communicate with 3 people. Unless you're talking about the weather or how great the yard sale went, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Right, or I can meet on this night, not this night.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. But, you know, other stuff, it saves any trouble if you just communicate one-on-one.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you. And then, I know you got the email, but Olivia just wanted me to remind you that the quarterly report is due
Yes, I've been
March.
working on that.
March 1st, yep.
The only other thing I wanted to let you all know is, are we moving to miscellaneous?
Yes, we can. do
The
miscellaneous.
selectmen approved our, date for bike rodeo.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Did we choose a date for the yard sale?
I
I thought we did, and I should have had you ask about it when you
Oh,
went.
It's in
Sorry.
one of our.
No, it's
notes. I
okay.
might have it on my calendar.
That's what I thought.
It's in June.
Yes.
Townwide yard sale, the 21st.
Okay.
Wow, you're good.
Yeah, because it's the
Write
week
that
before the
down.
bike rodeo.
Okay. So if we could put that on for the next agenda,
Yep.
just to talk about and get permission and stuff, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
If you still wanna go forward with it, we can talk about it next.
Yeah, I think we should. Do we don't have another date set yet, so we should probably. When he comes back with the bids, I'm guessing we're going to have to meet again to do that, so I don't know if we wanna put something on the calendar now, or if you want me to wait until he gets back to me. Assuming we'd have it by the week of March 10th.
I would think we'd plan to meet that time anyway, so that we can get the date finalized and put in for the yard sale and start
And other
planning
stuff
the yard
moving.
sale and the bike
Yeah.
rodeo.
Okay.
Because we're getting into spring and it's just gonna fly.
Yes.
Do we wanna, I'll obviously have to reach out about the dates, but maybe the 11th or the 13th?
The 13th you won't be able to, cause there's meetings. I know
11th.
Wednesdays are
Okay.
bad.
Anything on the 11th?
13th is a Thursday, right?
You don't?
No, I don't have
So we
anything
could
in my
do
calendar.
the 11th at 5:30?
That works.
Tuesday, the 11th?
Tuesday.
Yeah, that'll be the last Tuesday that I can attend, because after that soccer starts and I have practices on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Alright, so we'll move the day of the week after that.
I will have Wednesdays open now though, because my other half is taking over scouts, so my Wednesday nights are free now.
Wow, how'd you get that?
It's pretty nice.
It wasn't a choice.
Will he be ready in 2 weeks? Today's the 25th.
He should be. He
So
said
next
it would
week.
be about a
Alright.
week, so, yeah.
Yeah, but even if he's not, then we can at least get started on the other stuff for the spring events that are coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, I will confirm that date then. Does anybody have any other miscellaneous items before I?
I just got one question. Where are we gonna get the money to pay for the maintenance on the playground? One way or
We
the
said we
other?
talked about that, wouldn't we say that,
Did we
it
talk
would
about that,
be,
Leon?
yeah, that it would be highway department?
Oh, wait, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had talked about that when Mark was here last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it would be highway, and that was one of the reasons why we eliminated any water, even a
Right.
fountain or,
Splash
irrigation,
pad. Yeah,
because of the care and maintenance, and we didn't wanna get into that.
Right.
So. And there is the restroom in the lobby of the police station, as well as water there.
Right.
So,
And this envelope you gave me was just, someone
potty.
reaching out?
yeah, about porta potties, that's all. Which we won't need, which is a blessing.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Nope, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we adjourn at